Hi my friends, this is Wolfgang from Wolfgang's Healing Circle, and today we will be talking about how to clear a room of bad energy, of bad chi. And we probably all have experience, coming into a room and you don't feel, it doesn't feel right. Maybe, there's an angry vibe, maybe there's a depressed vibe, there could be all kinds of emotions in a room that are not coming from us and that we don't like, and that's a situation when we want to clear the room. Also, as healers, many times when we scoop out bad chi out of a chakra or do some other clearing, suddenly all this released bad chi is just like floating in the air, like a subtle thought that can attach itself to you, and when it attaches itself to you, you get a headache, your neck gets tight, or you feel depressed, or there's a tightness in your stomach or in your chest, depending on where that low chi travels. That's probably where it came from, and then it travels to your spot, if you're not careful. So, or you walk into a room, or you had a fight with your wife, or with somebody else, and, the pissed vibes are like all over the place. Or, as it happened to me, we moved into a house, and suddenly I got quite angry, my poor wife, and anyhow, and then the neighbors sometimes told us that there used to be a person living there that was very, very, very angry. I mean, he even shot their dog in front of their eyes. That angry that person was. And so I would say his anger just left an imprint in those walls, and I was affected by it, on the long run. And so it took a lot of clearing to get that stuff out. It took a while. I mean, it was work. So how do we clear this bad chi? Well, I have one method that's really good, really fast, works on great places, masses of people, which is the Conch Shell. I am not selling conch shells. I'm just using them. If you have one, they are just awesome. I mean, they are proportioned in divine harmony, and when you blow it like a trumpet, it will just clear the space. Now it's probably going to mess up the microphone setup, but and if you do this in the 4 directions, that will take care of a lot of stuff. If you do this close to people, close to their chakras, it can even do a small exorcism, and for the average person, a lot of low chi will just flow up, and the room will get purified, right away, big time. And that's why, conch shells or horns, ram horns, are used before ceremonies on so many cultures around the world, because this big om, basically a big sinus wave vibration, just clears everything that's not harmonious. Another form of this, I don't have it here, is a gong. A big gong will just do the same thing. It creates a nice clean sine waves and erases all the crappy stuff. And in the same thing is, of course, the singing bowl, which will also, harmonize, the environment, if you have a good substantial one. Same is like bells and kartals, they also do, but not to that degree as a conch shell or a nice big gong does. Well, another way to clear, or actually to prevent negative stuff piling up, especially when you're a healer, is, let's say, I'm clearing this arm, and so I basically extend my energy through the arm and just use it to sweep the low chi out. Now once it comes out, and I just go like that, it's going to be floating around. But if I take it and send it into the earth and maybe make a little whirlpool, to just keep accepting the chi, it will go onto the earth and will be transmuted and not float around anymore. And very effective method, to basically, whenever, you remove bad chi, to just always intentionally send it into the earth, for recycling of energies. Now, an interesting fact is that low vibrational chi tends to pile up on the floor. And I can tell you a story about that. Once in Pittsburgh, a miracle occurred where a big Jesus that was hanging under the ceiling suddenly, overnight went from open-eyed to closed-eyed, or from closed-eyed to open-eyed, and it was declared a miracle, and lots of people came to check it out and to pray there. I came there too to check it out, and as I was sitting there on the pew, I realized that I was sitting up to here in bad chi, in dark chi. And I began to question, hey, I'm sitting here in a holy place in a church, and dear Spirit, please explain to me, why am I sitting up to here in bad chi? This should be nice and sparkling and uplifting. The next thing, my eyes just fell, in front of the altar, where like 5 people were kneeling and just praying their butts off, just, help me, this and that, we have so many problems, And then behind them was a big row of people all the way along through the whole church that were waiting for their 5 minutes of, presenting their troubles to the Lord. And so they all were shedding bad chi when they were confessing their troubles. They were just releasing their bad chi, and they probably felt very, very good. And that is one of the reasons why the Catholic Church uses myrrh, this heavy incense, to burn before every Mass. A lot of those cardinals get lung cancer from it, but it purifies all that bad chi that people shed there. So, alright, so I understood that bad chi piles up on the floor, and there are 2 techniques that you can use. First of all, you detect it, you can feel it. If you're sensitive, you can feel it on your legs. There might be like a dark, negative feeling or tightness, up to your calves or up to your knees. Let's hope it doesn't get higher. And even if you, sensitize your hands so that you can feel things, you just rub them, and when you bring them together, sooner or later you could get to a resistance, or maybe you feel heat. Right? And now, with that same sensitivity, you just move down your hand to the floor, just keep going and going and going, and just perceive with your hand how it's changing. It might just get a little colder, and then sooner or later, you might hit a resistance, or it just starts feeling yucky. Especially the lower you get, the yuckier or denser it starts to feel. That's how I know. A lot of people, know how much bad chi there is. Now, you can either create, like in a bathtub, a whirlpool, where you just kind of pull the plug and ask Mother Earth really nicely, dear Mother, would you please, accept this for recycling. And, in your imagination, just run a drain into Mother Earth. And, but that is one way. And just keep it going till you feel that the place is clear, that this chi is kind of gone. Or you can imagine what I call a heavenly vacuum cleaner, that there is, you hold out your hands and, you imagine like a tube, coming from heaven, all the way coming down and going all the way to the ground. That's like a big vacuum cleaner, and you just go, and suck it up. To just imagine, this stuff getting sucked up into the higher dimension, processed into wisdom and whatever, and recycled and coming down as heavenly love. Sometimes in the middle of a healing, I get distracted, and oh God, the bad chi, creeps up, and I just asked for the angels to please, clear the space and use heavenly vacuum cleaners. And sometimes they do it, and sometimes, I have to help. Now, there are other methods too. There are many methods to do things, and some of them you will like more than others, and some of them will be more appropriate in certain circumstances, and some of them are really easy for you, and some are not. So it's just like food, you can eat all kinds of traditional foods. So another one is like sage, Native American style. Many people have like a seashell, and where is it? Here we go. They have a seashell, and they have some sage in there that you can get at a supply store, and it smells very nice, and you light it, and just one piece. Let's say you come home, you just did 20 minutes in rush hour traffic, and you are ready to stomp little puppies because, you just angry, agitated, tired, and cranky. And so you light this, you come home, and before, you start yelling at your wife and at your kids, you just light this and fan this around you, and it just, it's just like, oh, this is so good. And you offer this, to the spirit, to God, and, the beings all around you, the benevolent beings, all of them. And, try to get it all around your legs. And then you should open the window. So the bad thing with sage is, some people think, you smoke pot, and you might get a police visitor, but otherwise, this is very nice. But you got to keep open the doors so the smell gets out, otherwise they say the impurities stay in the place. Another way of clearing is water. Water traditionally can be imprinted with thought forms and with emotions. Blessed water is being used, all around the world. The Hindus make them. The Hindus, the Hindu Brahmanas create holy water. They take water, you stick your fingers in, you don't stick your nail in there because that's where all the dirt is, under the nail. So you don't do that, you just stick it into the water, and they invoke the holy rivers, like the river Ganges. It sounds like this: Ganga Chayamuna Chave Goravave Sarasvati Nauda Sindhu Javari Jalasmim Smidim Kuru. You do this 3 times. Well, basically, you just ask, the holy river Ganges, Sarasvati, and so on, please, be present in this water. Put your vibration into this water, and here they're coming in. I like the direct approach. Not necessarily a formula, but just, please, would you do this, please? And that works generally, with crystals, with plants, with angels. As long as you ask nicely and are humble about it, they do it. Within 2 seconds, you can feel the effect. So here we have holy water, and we have a spray bottle, and let's say, there is some psychic thought coming out there, and here you go. You spray it on you, you spray it on chakras. Whew, yeah, this is good. This is very nice. So, you can purify a place like that. And, sometimes we notice there are a lot of ghosts around. You're at the cemetery, or maybe insane asylum, they are just packed with ghosts, you feel this negative presence around you, or maybe you're summoning ghosts, or they attack you, and you don't like them around, and you don't want to deal with ascending them, just clap, let's go. And they just hate that. It just hurts their subtle bodies, it just hurts them like anything. It's like getting punched in the stomach. And that is why the Chinese use crackers to drive out ghosts from the neighborhood. Of course, as a method, it just takes care of it for a certain time, and then they will come back again. So that is not a permanent solution. But for immediate purpose, this really helps. What else do we got? Pendulum. Oh yeah. The pendulum is a wonderful device where you do not have to go into very deep meditation. You can always cheat yourself with the pendulum. You should try to be very neutral, but the more you use it, the more you get a working knowledge of it. Well, here, I have a pendulum chart, that goes from 0 to 100%. I have a nice souped up pendulum, with gemstones, the whole 9 yards. And basically, let's say I ask, how much contamination do we have here in my room today, right now? Well, it's really good because I already did a whole bunch of stuff, but let's say it's like 80%, and maybe 100% would be the worst I've ever had in this house, and so then I would say, and I would address either angels or your own high self. Your high self is definitely very capable of doing this, but you can also ask angels, volunteers angels, and they gladly help you with that, especially if they think you're not capable. But and you ask them, please find all, remove all, and clear all any bad chi, any bad energy, maybe any bad entities that are here, and then see, the pendulum, will start spinning. Maybe there's somebody that hates your guts, and sends you bad energy every day, and they just say, please find all, remove all, clear all, any bad energies sent to me by Mr. X. And any resistances, towards relation with energies, find those all. Please find or remove and clear all, okay. And any bad energies sent by other people to me, right? Very, very good. So it's clearing, and any resistance to this. So now it's kind of straightening out gradually, and actually that means it's done. And the more you open your crown chakra and the higher you go while you're doing this attempt, the faster this goes. It's because you start operating from a higher level of awareness. All the stuff has to be done from a high level of awareness. Means crown chakra open, heart chakra open, nicely grounded. Full good energy. When you're depressed and sick and tired, this stuff does not work. Other way of, so we kind of, with intent, and we ask to energies to be removed, and now we invite, now please, dear angelic angels, and all my relations, means all the good beings around us, please bless this space so we can live our highest reality. And now we can see it's going clockwise from my point of view, and it's charging up. And it starts feeling even better now. And so it's charging up more and more, and it's getting yummy, and this is pretty much peak here, and it's stopping. Then there is Feng Shui. In the traditional Feng Shui system, you have this bhagwat that you overlay over your room. You have your entrance door, and according to that, every corner has a different meaning, and it's like wealth, family, help from other people, your career, etc. And so, that's easy to figure out, and I have it overlaid, right now. And here is the door to your room, and then this is in general what those corners or areas of your room supposed to mean. And then you just go and charge up those areas with your own chi, or with the chi that you're getting from heaven and earth. Basically I want to charge up this area of my room, of my life. And so you go there, and you extend your roots and your spine onto the earth, and take a love in and go down again. Just clear those a little bit and contain it. Charge yourself up. That's pretty good. Now I have a nice connection with the earth. Now I'm going to just connect really strong with the heavens. So same thing, I draw on the energy. Smile, ask the angels to please come and help me. And here the angels are coming. Okay, it takes them 2 seconds. And now I'm nice juiced up. All the connections are nice open. The crown chakras open, the root chakras open, and I go and project it through my hands, project it through my eyes. If you're more adept, you can project it from all your chakras at the same time. And maybe clear out any junk. So you basically, you extend, you imagine that you extend the chi through your fingers like brooms, and just broom all the low chi into the earth, into that little swirling swirling thingy in the ground, and just wash it down, and then charge it up, and then go to the next space and charge that one up, and just go all around the room, and you'll be flying afterwards, and your room will feel like a cocoon or like a nest to you. It will feel really cozy, and people want to be with you or around you, or they want to be in the room, or when you're in the room, you have very good thoughts, you feel good about yourself, and you can be very creative. That is one of the nicest techniques, and of course you can do this to your food, to your refrigerator, to your kitchen. You want to be in a really good spirit and mood when you cook, because your consciousness is going to go into the food and affect everybody else. If you cook when you're angry, just happens to watch those people when they eat that food, if it affects them. So you want to be always in a really nice, energetically clean kitchen, charged up with love. So whenever you walk in there, you're in a good mood and cook some nice, happy food. What else do we have? Oh yeah. Also, when there is a lot of junk in the room, and not necessarily in the walls, but just floating around, what I do, I go into the corner of a room, chi up again, and basically expand. Imagine that I expand, my hands, my fingers, like huge paddles that go all across the room, and then I just sweep the room and push all the junk out the window or somewhere where it doesn't hurt anybody, where it doesn't disturb anybody. You don't want to, push this over into the next office, and then those people have to deal with all that bad chi. That will come back to you. They will not get you, let you get away with that. That is, I'm not your daddy, but there are beings watching over you. They will make sure that you don't do that too often. So just, push the junk out, out a window or somewhere, and then ask, drain it into the earth, or just, especially from the floor, that's where most of the junk is, of course, push it out, till everything feels nice and clean. And then you go to the charging up the walls protocol. You charge up the walls, you charge up the ceiling, Oh, especially, clear out beds, in hotels, or if you use old mattresses, from other people or even from yourself, just comb through your bed, flush out all those negative thoughts, so the past doesn't drag you down. Well, so much about clearing rooms, and there are probably some things that I forgot. But there's always another time, and I appreciate when you question me. I'm happy to answer any questions. I like to have your comments, and please like this video so more people can see it and will be helped. I work with you over Skype or over the phone, with healing, spiritual counseling, all kinds of techniques. I take donations, and I hope to see you again, and I hope maybe to hear from you. Namaste.